Hello and welcome back to the Jeevers Golf channel. My name is Hans Jeevers. I am a PGA Tour contributor for fansided.com and for progolfnow.com. You can find me on Twitter at Jeevers Golf. You can also find me on YouTube, which you're watching, of course, Jeevers Golf channel. So that's outstanding that you've visited this channel. So I appreciate it. I hope you continue to do so. Like this video would be outstanding. Subscribing would be even better. I appreciate that. So this week we're going to talk about the WGC-FedEx St. Jude Invitational. It should be pointed out that for several years this tournament was just a regular tour event on the PGA Tour, full field of about 150 players or so, 156 or so. That is no longer the case as of last year. This is now the more prestigious World Golf Championship event, and there is no cut after 2 rounds, which usually occurs in a regular tour event. No cut, so all 78 players in this limited field will play all 4 rounds. So a couple things from a DFS perspective that aren't good. When you don't have a cut, it's hard to differentiate yourself from the other lineups in Draftkings or Fanduel. And with 78 players, only 78 players, it just makes it difficult from a DFS perspective unless you're playing cash games. I play a lot of GPP tournaments. So just keep that in mind with your bankroll with this tournament. I would keep it on the low end personally. However, you play a lot of cash games, maybe go that route. GPPs, I would not put a lot of money on. So having stated that, let me get right to it. This tournament will be played at TPC Southwind. It has been played at this tournament. It's always been the host of this event, even when it was just a regular St. Jude Invitational. Of course, now it's the FedEx World Golf Championship event. It was also played here last year. So let's get right to it. I'll start with Fanduel this time. My Fanduel picks, I'll hit a couple of those picks. I won't get into all of them. If you want to see all of my picks for Fanduel and Draftkings, you should look at my articles. One is already out there on Pro Golf Now, which is regarding the Draftkings pricing. Tomorrow morning, fansided.com will have the Fanduel article, which will be regarding the Fanduel pricing. So here we go. First off, from a Fanduel pricing perspective, I'm starting off with 26-year-old American Xander Schauffele. Schauffele, how good has he been this year? I think he kind of falls under everybody's radar because he's not the fancy name. I just love this guy. I love how he just keeps his head down and plays his game. Kind of reminds me a little bit, but I'm not a PGA Tour player, unfortunately. But he just does his job, keeps his head down. And so he doesn't get a lot of fanfare. He doesn't make a lot of comments. He gets himself in the media. But what he does do is produce results on a consistent basis. He's played 13 tournaments since the start of the PGA Tour season. He has 11 top 24 finishes in 13 events, okay, including a 3rd place finish at the Charles Schwab Challenge. He also has 2 runner-up finishes on the PGA Tour this season, Century Tournament of Champions in January, and he also finished runner-up in one of the tournaments in the fall portion of the calendar. It's not coming to my mind right now. Oh, I know, it was a World Golf Championship event. It was also a World Golf Championship event that was in November. So he tends to have a flair for showing up in these limited field events. The Century Tournament of Champions was also limited field, no cut. The World Golf Championship event that he finished 2nd in November was also limited field. He's openly discussed how he does not like easy golf courses that's birdie fest. He likes these more difficult events, more prestigious events. That's why he generally tends to pop in these tournaments. So Xander Schauffele, $11,200 on Fanduel. Next up on Fanduel, I like Patrick Reed. Patrick Reed has 6 top 10s on the PGA Tour this season, including a win at the WGC-HSBC Champions in February, another World Golf Championship event. Reed has a tendency to win events that matter. And of course, you know, he won the Masters a few years ago as well. He has a green jacket to his name. I also like the fact that Reed has played well at TPC Southwind before. He has a 12th place finish in last year's event on this golf course. If you're looking for a lower cost value play on FanDuel, CT Pan. CT Pan, only $7,000. That's the minimum on FanDuel. You can't have anything cheaper than $7,000. And I will say up front that he's not had the greatest of seasons. That's why he's $7,000. However, he has started to turn the corner, in my opinion, based on statistics in his last 8 rounds played. That'd be equivalent to the last 2 PGA Tour tournaments played. His statistics are on the upswing. A lot of his stats fared rather well with the other world-class players in this field over the last 2 tournaments, that is. So he finished 44th at the Memorial in his last event, and that didn't sound like a great run there, but it was a very difficult task on that Jack Nicklaus golf course, and he found himself with a 44th place finish. So I'll take that positive at a low price of $7,000. I also like the fact that CT Pan, I know he can finish the deal on a Sunday afternoon. Why? Because he won the 2019 RBC Heritage last year. There's a lot of guys, you can't have strokes gained numbers about what's in between someone's ears. Some of these guys can falter in a big spot. Well, we know CT Pan can come through when it matters. CT Pan, $7,000. I like him a lot to finish top 20, maybe top 15 in this event. So at a price point of only $7,000, you can't beat that. So let's move over to Draftkings real quick. Draftkings, I'm leading off with former Florida Gator and 2014 FedEx Cup champion, Billy Horschel. He comes in on the slate at $8,500. As I mentioned, we know the man can win in big spots. You don't win the FedEx Cup like he did unless you play some great golf when it matters. I believe he won 2 or 3 tournaments in a 6-week stretch to win that 2014 FedEx Cup. But what matters is how he's playing right now. And he does have 6 top 13 finishes on the PGA Tour this season, including a 7th place result at the Workday Charity Open 3 weeks ago. He also checks the box for me when it comes to player statistics. Billy is currently ranked 27th in par 4 birdie percentage, 22nd in total strokes gained, and 25th in strokes gained off the tee on the PGA Tour this season. But more important, those are statistics based on the entire season. I took a little deeper look at Mr. Horschel's last 8 rounds because I want to dig deep here as we're trying to win some money. So his most recent statistics are much better. In his last 8 rounds played on the PGA Tour in relation to the current listed WGC-FedEx St. Jude Invitational field, Billy Ho ranks 10th in total strokes gained, 8th in strokes gained on par 5s, 3rd in 3-putt avoidance, and 8th in strokes gained putting. These statistics that I'm talking about are ones that I feel are rather important for this week's event. That's why I focused on those. I should tell you that this golf course is a par 70. It only has 2 par 5s and a large majority of par 4s that are very difficult. And I like that Billy Ho can play well in these par 4s. He's also played well at this course in the past. He's got a nice history at TPC Southwind, so I like that. It should also be noted that Billy Horschel prefers, he's a Southern gentleman, as I mentioned. He went to the University of Florida. He prefers the pure Bermuda grass greens. He's going to get that here at TPC Southwind, and I expect his putter and flat stick to be hot this week. I like Billy Horschel, and he's only $8,500 on DraftKings. Next up is the 20th ranked golfer in the world golf rankings, and that's Matthew Fitzpatrick. He has 4 top 27 finishes in his last 6 events on the PGA Tour, including a 3rd place result of the Memorial Tournament 2 weeks ago. I mentioned earlier how that's an extremely difficult golf course. And Fitzpatrick is a guy that I watch a lot of European Tour golf. I've watched him the last few years. A lot of Americans may not realize who he is, but I can assure you that the young gentleman is a nice quality talent. And he's going to start winning some tournaments on the biggest tour on the planet here soon. You may want to jump on while you can. Fitzpatrick also finished 4th at the WGC-FedEx St. Jude Invitational last year, so we know he likes TPC Southwind. Next up, we have the 21-year-old American phenom, Matthew Wolff. He has 3 top 22 finishes in his last 4 events on the PGA Tour, including a second place result at the Rocket Mortgage Classic earlier this month. Wolff is currently ranked 15th in strokes gained off the tee on the PGA Tour. Now going to some value plays on the Draftkings slate. I like 30-year-old Englishman Matt Wallace. He finished 4th at the Memorial Tournament earlier this month. He finished 27th at last year's playing of this event at TPC Southwind. And again, I watch a lot of European Tour golf, and I like guys that can close the deal. And let me assure you that Mr. Wallace can close the deal. Will he do that this week? I'm not sure, but I will tell you that if he gets in the top 10 on a Sunday, he will not wither away because of it. He has 4 European Tour wins. I know it's not the PGA Tour, but I can assure you there's some great golfers in the European Tour, and he's come through 4 times on that professional golf tour. So I like that. Matt Wallace, and he's only $6,700. So I'll stop there, Matt Wallace, at $6,700. So if you don't mind hitting that like button, that'd be outstanding. If you don't mind subscribing, that'd be even better. Give me some comments. Tell me what you think about my picks, who you like to win this week. As I mentioned earlier in this video, you can find me on Twitter at GeeversGolf. And of course, you're on my YouTube channel, Jeevers Golf. You can always comment there or ask me any questions as well. Good luck, and let's have a great tournament in Memphis, Tennessee. Take care.